So we will start by drawing a circle. Like any other circle, you decide the size of the circle that you want. And then we're going to divide that circle into 10. So it's a 10-fold division. I'll just adjust my camera here. Okay, so you start by drawing the circle. And then let's find the bisector. So we have our horizontal line we start. Then we draw a circle, then we want our vertical line. So basically, we can do it this way where we find the bisector. So you make a notch with the same radius and then an arch above and below. And you may have to adjust the radius of your compass, or it might fit. All right, and then you place your ruler through your arches and through your center. And then you draw your vertical line. Okay, and then where you had placed your pencil, where you had made those first two arches, you're going to place your ruler, and then you're just going to draw a notch on your horizontal line, and then you're going to use that to draw a circle, and that circle should be exactly half your original radius. You can check, and then when you're happy with it, you just draw your circle. This is all construction for that 10-fold division, and then you're going to place the point of your ruler at where the original circle and the vertical line intersect, and then where that center of the new circle are, and you're going to draw a notch on that new circle like that. And that is 1/10 of a division of your circle. So get that radius, and then so those are some points there, and then you're going to check your accuracy by going above, and let's see if we tangent. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So now we have a couple of points. So we have A, B. Now these were construction, so these are done. And let's step it around and see how accurate we are. So from B we get C, and then from C we get D, and then E. Yeah, so A, B, C, D, E. Again, that was construction, so we're done with that. F, G, and let's step it around to get the remaining points. So G, H, I, J. G, H, I, and J. So now we've divided our circle into 10. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Now we're going to draw two pentagons. So we do that by skipping. So A to C, skip D, go to E, skip E, go to G, skip G, go to I, skip I, go back to A, and then the opposite. So start at B and skip C and go to D, skip D and skip E and go to F, skip F and go to H, okay, so now we did our two pentagons. Okay, and now we're going to do a series of lines where we skip 2. So we're going to start at A and skip 2 all the way until we get back to A. It's going to be 3 rotations. So we're going to go A, D, D, G, G, J, J, C, C, F, F, I, B, B, E, E, H, H, back to A. Okay, so now we've got a lot of what we're going for, and we're gonna initially get like a shape that looks like this, and then we are going to use our tracing paper and just trace out just the star shapes, and we're gonna use that slightly modified to get our final design. So let's keep working. So now we're gonna go around and see this small triangle. We're gonna connect parallel lines from the base. So A and F, we're gonna see this triangle here, and then the opposite one, we're just gonna connect parallel lines like that. Okay, and we're gonna go around. So A, F, B, J, so we're always just rotating by one. B, G, sorry, not J. Okay, C, H, D, I, J, E. Or EJ, same thing. Okay, now we're done. So now what you would want to do is you take tracing paper and you would trace out like this. So you would trace out the stars that are all around, and then you would trace out the interior star. So you can see here I kind of went over. I think I got confused there for a second. So, but over here, like this is what you would trace out. So you find like a 12-pointed star in the center, like this, 12-pointed star in the center, and then the 10 stars that are, sorry, a 10-pointed star in the center, and then the 10 stars that are all around is what you would trace, but you only want to trace like the lines that you need. And then once you get to this point, you'll notice that when you tessellate, okay, so when you tessellate on one row here, they're adjacent to each other. And then on the row below, it's offset. It's in the center. So like, look at this blue star, look at this blue star, they're beside each other. And then this one is offset. And you do have the 10 stars, but you'll notice that one of the stars is like slightly like a different shape. So to do, what you have to do is on here, on your tracing paper, you just have to modify. So orient it where one star is pointing up and one star is pointing down and then pointing up. It doesn't really matter. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to just adjust this star because it looks like that, and then you're going to get rid of this and this. Okay, and you do the same thing on the bottom. So you're just extending the line, and then the star is being, two of the points of the star are being removed. So that's gone and that's gone. Okay, and so now when you're ready to tessellate, okay, so I'll tessellate, just flip this. Okay, I'll come back in a second. Okay, so now I've transferred it to my sheet here, and then I'll zoom in. When I'm ready to tessellate, like do it again, I'm going to align this bottom point with these 2 points. So just like that. So see how the tip of the stars align, the tip of this cutoff star aligns, and then the tip of this star aligns. So then I would draw the next one like that, okay? And then once you have 2, it's going to be easy to see the third, because these stars, 1, 2, 3, 4, they would form the next set here. So you just align your stars. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you would have this one here on this side. So that's how you tessellate here. So basically what we did is exactly this. So you have this aligns with this, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 aligns, and then you have the same pattern repeated.